Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Words of War at the Movies. My name is George Guerra.
I'm Sergio Guerra.
So we saw a couple of movies this weekend, so we're just going to give you a quick review of what we thought of them. First movie we saw was Hangover 3 with Bradley Cooper, Zach Galifianakis, yeah, there you go, and Ed Helms. So part 3 of The Hangover, we see part 1, part 2. It's just these guys on another crazy adventure. So,
Well, I mean, what did you think of it?
Well, me personally, I liked it. I definitely thought, as far as if you haven't seen the first two, they're all different, but this is definitely I would say about on par with the first one. Maybe not as crazy, but as far as it's definitely better than part 2. So it's a good addition to the trilogy.
But I'll agree. If you're a fan of the Hangover series, you'll probably like this movie. Myself, I think part 1 was funny. Part 2 was like the same thing practically.
Yeah.
So I was glad that this one kind of took a different route. It did, I guess, with the whole epic final end to the trilogy that they're trying to do. It really starts off like as an epic thing. It actually goes really very much into action sometimes. And it's really cool. They have a lot of things that kind of go back to the first story and the second story. They kind of revolve around and bring the story on a full round circle. But it wasn't as funny as I thought it was going to be. I wasn't expecting much because of part 2. So I still had fun. But I didn't think it was that funny.
Well, I agree with that. I don't think it was as funny as the first one, but I think as far as story-wise, I think it at least matched that kind of, hangover-ish kind of thing. And I agree with you that the second one was very just like, okay, let's cut this part from part 1 and this part from part 2 and just they try to make the same thing happen and it didn't work out.
The story in this was very original.
Yeah.
And you kind of follow it through and it's entertaining, like I said, and it is funny. So the movie will keep you entertained and it is pretty funny. It's better than part 2, I thought.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't have the same magic I think that part 1 had.
Yeah. Well, but I think they learned their mistake with part 2. I think they kind of learned that you can have fan service and not have to try to make the same movie again. And I think that's what they did right with this movie. I think they actually took a story and put these guys that lived through part 1 and part 2 and put them in another buddy situation. So maybe it wasn't as crazy as the first one, but I think it was a much better buddy comedy.
Well, I thought it was the craziest one of all 3 of them.
Really?
So yeah, I don't think it wasn't crazy enough. It was definitely really crazy. I mean, there's a lot of really weird, stupid shit in there,
I like all the little jokes that they put from for the previous ones. They were making little jabs about certain things that happened.
Yeah,
which is really cool.
I just the craziness part of it's cool, but that's to me it's that's not necessarily funny. Showing a crazy situation, it's new, but it's not necessarily funny. So I was going to the Hangover 3, wanting to just laugh constantly, and it was enjoyable film. It was more actiony than actiony. Is that a word?
Sure.
Than I thought it was going to be. I just didn't laugh as much as I thought. There was some aspects of Alan. In the movie's name is Alan. His character just seemed just overly mean. And in the other ones he's always been the weird guy and kind of off and the rich spoiled brat kind of thing. But I mean, it was just the whole Wolfpack thing to me didn't feel as connected, even though they've always been not really wanting to be connected.
Yeah. But I think some of that had to do with I think they were trying to show that he was going through something a change, But what's called he especially with in the movie he goes through this whole change of kind of taking responsibility for himself in somewhat of a form as much as Alan really can. But yeah, I think that was part of it. Right?
Yeah, but okay, I get the whole arc. Okay, your character grows and everything, but this isn't a spoiler. You guys probably saw this in the thing. They cut the head off of a giraffe. Okay, you don't need a great a story arc or something. It's supposed to be just a funny thing. So I get it. I understand what they were trying to do. It's just I think they took the whole epic thing a little too serious, and I was going for a dumb funny movie, so But like I said, it's still enjoyable though.
Enjoyable
I still like it.
Yeah. I think it works on different levels. So for different people, like you might not find it the funniest movie in the world. Like, oh, I didn't find it the funniest movie ever. But it was enjoyable. It definitely had its laughs. I really like the little story arcs. John Goodman's like amazing, and so he was really good in this too.
I liked all the little cameos. They had a lot of really good cameos, and like I said, some of those cameos were actually like full circle from like part one and then part two and stuff like that. And then Chow is just crazy Chow. So that's kind of just. It's part of the Hangover, movies now. So it's still cool. I liked it. Like what did you think of the performances?
Was I think I definitely think Chow, the guy who plays Leslie Chow. I think he did a great job. But he's been kind of rolling with that shtick ever since the first Hangover. And the commercials he's done and things like that. He kind of has that whole little. But so I think he plays it well. So he's kind of been working at it since then. So I thought he did a really good job. Like I said, John Goodman was really good in it. All these guys are just taking over their own shoes pretty much from the other two. And I think it was played out well. Like nobody's really changed much. There's still that same core character, so you still go in there kind of already knowing these guys. The only one that really kind of, and even at saying a change really in Alan, there wasn't a huge change or anything. So he's not like
the one I feel bad for is that Doug character. Cause like it's the third film and he like never gets to really be in the film.
Yeah.
Like he's in the film, but he's not really there. And it's like you think after the first one, like okay, he wasn't there. Like he'd get a shot to kind of join the wolf.
And they always make it look like they're gonna like oh maybe not again. Yeah.
So I just felt bad for him. But
what about he was in this one though more than he was in the other one? So time wise maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what about like if you had to give it a rating from 1 to 10?
1 to 10, I would go with a 1 to 10. I would probably go with about a 7.5, 8, maybe. Just depending on the kind of mood, depending on how big of a fan you are. So if you're already not a fan, maybe 7.5. But it was good. I enjoyed it. It was good. It was good laughs. So yeah, I would go with a 7.5, 8. On that. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, me too. Actually, 7.5 would be a good place to sit because it's enjoyable. It was funny, anyways. It wasn't not funny. There was enough new stuff in there to if you've seen the other two. Unlike part two, you actually get to see other things happen. It's like it's not the same formula. Not exactly. And then there's enough of the familiarity with the other movies and the little shout outs to it that you get that fan service of like that's kind of cool. So I give it 7.5 also. So
that's cool. All in all, it was a good movie. So if you haven't seen it, and you're into going to the movies and you want just something you can go have fun at, there's something. Just don't take like your parents or your grandparents in there.
Fuck them, take them. Well, it doesn't matter.
Well, that's true. Depending on how your relationship is, but yeah, honestly, definitely a fun movie to go watch. So.
Yeah, cool. So I guess if you enjoy the review or something, let us know down there in the comment section. Subscribe to us.
But
and give us your feedback or other movies that you might want to see reviewed or something. So we're just getting started at this thing anyway. So good or bad opinions, that's great to hear.
Any comment is a welcome comment. So.
Anyways, and I guess that's it for the Hangover Part 3. Go check it out. And we'll see you guys pretty soon with another review.
Thanks.